So guys, my car got stolen. I don't know where to start. I don't even know how to go on with this vlog, but this is what happened. I went through the most excruciating trauma that I've ever experienced in my life, and I was contemplating if I wanted to do this sit down. But after checking in with my husband, he advised me that it is best for me to be in control of this narrative, for me to tell my story and not let someone else tell my story. If you are new here, my name is Rasmus-Gold and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please make sure that you watch the ads, like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate that. The best way that I can tell the story is for me to provide you guys with the details as to where I am right now and how I'm gonna navigate with this journey. This isn't a story time that you can prep for. This isn't a story time that you can make entertaining, because there's literally nothing entertaining about this, but I will tell it to the best of my capabilities. So, on the 18th of October, my life came to a complete standstill. That is the day that I lost my car. In the year 2022, I was looking for a car that can go well with my lifestyle, can be well aligned with my dreams. And I remember one of the first things that I said to my then boyfriend, now husband, I said, babe, and I was so excited, and I said, babe, the first car that I need to get must be an SUV. And I even gave him a list because I remember I loved the Hyundai Tucson Sport so much. And then it was the Haval H6, and then it was the Mazda CX5. And the Mazda CX5 was my first priority car. Then the next one was the Hyundai Tucson, and the third one was the Haval H6. So I shopped around in the year 2022 until I found the car that I feel like is aligning with me. I remember in December 2022, that is when I made sure that I got my license, because it was the year of getting the license. Once I got my license, I started to apply for a vehicle. Come January 2023, that is when I got my dream car at the time. And I was beyond excited, because I am one person, when I have dreams, I write them down. I said, this is going to be my first car and I need to have this. And I was also looking around the practicality of getting an SUV, because at the time my family was coming. Most of the times when I go home, there's quite a lot of items that I need to take home with me. And because of that, SUV was just the way to go. And I remember when I didn't have a car, I used to pray so hard for my car. I used to work extra hard. Because when I moved to Johannesburg, I didn't have a single thing. I had to start from the ground up. So what motivated me personally was to have dreams that I can work towards. And for me to achieve the specific dream with getting this Mazda CX5, it was a dream come true. Because one, I couldn't believe that God has blessed me to an extent where I can finally afford the car of my dreams. That God has blessed me, that not only was I able to afford the car, but I was able to have a car that doesn't affect me financially, And with me, I was beyond elated. And I have a YouTube video on my car and the process of going through it. So I went home and I showed my mom for the first time. I actually surprised my mom with the car. The first thing my mom did, she went down on her knees and she started to pray for the car. And ever since I had that vehicle, it was beyond beautiful. And when I started speaking with my husband about the next car, because the Mazda CX5, it's quite a big car. Me and my husband, we even started to plan now for a smaller car. We wrote down our dreams about the things that we would like to achieve, and the universe had a different plan. We were redirected from what we thought was a beautiful moment that we had, an achievement that I was hanging on, to what is now a loss. And one of the things that really hurts me about this loss is that I don't look at this loss only from a materialistic point of view, because luckily for me, when it comes to cars, I'm not that really invested. But I look at it from a point of, I didn't have a thing when I moved to Johannesburg. I had guts. I didn't have family here. The people that took me in, they only took me in for a certain amount of time. And then I had to start from the ground up. And I look at it as a reminder of what God can do and that possibility. And when we had a new dream after that was achieved, me and my husband, we were like, okay, now we're going to get a smaller car, because the Mazda CX5 was a 2-liter. We're going to get a smaller car, and then we're going to have our Mazda CX5, then we will have 2 cars, and then we are able to now look into other ways we can achieve different dreams. So that was it. So when this loss occurred, it hit us both hard. It really was just a thing of me being stunned, and even up until today, I am beyond shocked. So you guys are probably invested or trying to hear how the story started or what happened. So I experienced this loss on the 18th of October. So there's a vlog that my husband posted on his channel. He also CC'd me in. It was the day when we went hiking. So the next question, what was going through your mind on our first date? Bengicela ungilalele nami, ngiyazi sibani sikhalela kuwe. Bengicela ungilalele nami, ngiyazi
yazi sibaningi skhalela kuwe awa zubathethelela utalima bawo uwewe tohlezi utalima uzungikhumbule nami khumbule nami khumbule nami.
So we drove to Kliprefir Nature Reserve. As we were busy driving, we started to record. I asked him questions, he asked me questions. So we got to the hiking spot, which is the nature reserve. We got there. It was extremely packed, so we packed the car as per usual because we always find ways to, find a nice spot. And also another thing is there are security guards. So we parked the car, and I remember I had the two Stanley cups in my hand, right? So I couldn't close the door properly. That is when the car didn't lock properly. So then my husband went back. As my husband went back, he closed the door, and I literally looked at him as he closed the door, and then he thingied the car. He closed the car, and then he felt it. So in that case, we knew that the car was locked, and that gave us confidence to go in. We went in at the resort, and then we started to record from the from the entrance rather, and then we went all the way up, still recording. Then we got to the hiking, and so then we got on top of the cliff. As we got on top of the cliff, we still busy recording. And I remember, like, me and my husband, we just had such a beautiful moment, just sitting there looking at nature, and we were busy taking pictures. And it was just me and him just talking and reminiscing about the fact that, you know what, babe, can you believe last month we did it? We had the first part of our wedding. There's still more to go. And we were even laughing about the fact that people warned us that when you plan a wedding, there's going to be a lot of arguments. And we said, we don't understand the lot, but we understand that we had many arguments, but they were never deal breakers. They were never something so severe as to how people explained when couples are planning weddings. We were just so quiet and just taking everything in. Then my phone started to ring. It rang. So with the new iPhone feature, if you get a phone call, then there's a voice monitor running in the background which is going to ask who's on the phone, specifically when you don't have the number saved or you didn't have any interactions with a specific number, then your phone doesn't just ring right away. So I had my phone in my hand, and then I'm looking and trying to see what's the message, and then I just saw from Car Tracker, and I'm like, come on, what's going on? So then I ignore. Then the phone rang again. So then I answered, and then they said, good day, sir. Kindly note, we have received a power failure alert from your car tracker. Where are you and what is going on? And that's when I mentioned, I said to them, I don't think there's anything wrong with the tracker, mainly because we parked the car and everything was fine. And then that's when I said, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to go down now. So we went down, but really we didn't even think a lot as to what's going on. We just thought maybe there's like some sort of problem, because the place that we were at, guys, to the people that have been to Kliprefir Nature Reserve, that's a family park where people go hiking. It is extremely safe. It is very quiet, and it is such a place where you know that crime is not going to manifest itself. So even when me and my husband walked down, we walked down with the thought of, nah, it's not such a big deal, but let's just go see what's going on. As we went down, we came down to the shock of our life. The car wasn't there. The car was gone. What we've done in that moment was, I don't know how he reacted, but I know how I reacted. And I just remember going blank for a second. I know the spot where we parked it was still open. I went up, I came back, I went up again, I came back. I am so confused. what just happened. He is confused and he's like, but we parked here and this is the vehicle that we know we parked because we even spoke to the people that were standing next to us. So what has occurred in this moment? I felt like I was going crazy. We walked back to the security guys and then we're like, hi guys, you guys have cameras here? They're like, no, we don't have any cameras here. And we said, our car just got stolen. And then they showed us a board that says parking here at own risk, if I recall the words correctly. And then I said, then so what are we supposed to do? The only thing that the security guard told us was, oh, we don't know what's going on. It has become a trend at a specific area. Last week, a Range Rover was stolen. The previous week, a VW Polo was stolen. And then they said that is why when we saw a Polo car this morning, we asked that car, even though there was no parking, to go force park in front of reception because it's not safe. And I'm just like, but then where's this communication? Do you guys communicate this on any page? Do you guys have a warning sign that speaks about the hijacking that occurs here? The guy couldn't understand, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was so shocked. And then I asked, where is the nearest police station? He said where it is. We requested an Uber. Now we're going to the police station. Immediately we went there. Luckily there wasn't a lot of people. So as we got there, we spoke to the police officer, and then the police officer was like, I just want to confirm, which trekking company are you with? I then say, and then they're like, okay, do you only have one tracker? And I'm like, oh no, I have two. But because of my shock, I even forgot the fact that I got two trackers in the car. So then they're like, before we write this thing down, can you please just call your other tracking company? I called them immediately. And then they took my report. They said, like, please make sure you get to a police station. That is when the other tracking company was now making sure that they follow wherever the car was going, because the one tracker has been deactivated. We make the statement, we get the police case number. So then at that moment I called my insurance, because I then realized that I won't be able to get access into my home, mainly because my house key was also in the car. So at this point, I'm calling my insurance company and I said, can I please have a locksmith? Then they said, okay, the locksmith will be in your house within an hour. Then I say, okay, thank you. Then I get another call back from the tracking company, the second tracking company now. This time they're telling me, listen, we are busy driving behind this car. And what is basically happening in this moment is we are 6 kilometers away from where we've seen the last signal. So for that moment, I had relief. I was a little bit happy that it seems like hope is coming. Because even the police officer was like, no, in that case, if it's 6 kilometers, that's not too far, then you then gonna make sure that you're probably gonna get your car. My husband is writing his own statement. I am writing my own statement. So now we have to disclose the things that was in the car. My brain is not even functioning. Because I remember the Friday, one of the items that I had in my car was my MacBook. So I don't recall me taking out my MacBook, but I do know I had my work cell phone even in there. And also the worst thing is, it just so happened that my husband, because we went to Alex to visit my husband's sister, and we're visiting her, she asked my husband, can I give you money? Then you transfer the money to me. So my husband had like 3,000 plus with him. So his bag with the money, his card and licenses, all got stolen with the car, with the house keys. We even had our tripods that was also stolen with the car. And so now we're trying to remember, like, and they're like, guys, you need to like tell us what was in the car. And I wrote down my MacBook, One of the things that we always keep in the car is the cleaning appliances. We have the camping chairs in the boot, and we're just writing, we're trying to remember. So with me, what blessed me was I had a carry-on bag that's like this, what we call it as a cross-body bag. So I had my cards and my stuff in there. So for me, and I had my only my one phone, because the other phone, I normally keep my other phone with me because that is a work phone. So you tend to get calls whenever, even if it's over the weekend. So that remained in the car. But my husband lost so much. One of the other items, you know, when you plan your day in the devil has other plans, that is what happened. I had a new bed set that we bought from Volps, actually at the back seat, because what we then said was we want to go to the mall after the hiking so we can go and see if we can get additional pillow covers for the continental pillows, and then also a fitted sheet and extra pillow covers, because this was like a standard set that only comes with standard pillowcases, and then basically a normal bed set. So we wanted to go get pillow covers and a fitted sheet that actually fits this. So we literally went with this new set because that is what we wanted to do after the hiking. But the devil was like, I will show you guys. So as we are at the police station, we receive a call. Hi guys, we just want to update you that we actually got to the scene, and as we got to the scene, the tracker was removed. So the signal that we picked up was basically the tracker was removed and it's literally sitting there, and we collected it, but we have now sent out more vehicles nationwide to be active and on the look for your vehicle specifically. And in that moment, I was like, there's nothing that I can do. There's nothing that I can do. And as I'm speaking to that police officer, and then that police officer said that, I'm sorry that I'm saying this to you right now, but as per how I'm writing the statements down that we have to provide to our private investigator, what I'm realizing right now was that I assume that when you guys left, the car got jammed. And when you guys went to do hiking, they already stole the car. So the probability of when you guys got the notification, which is the power failure notification, that is when they actually removed. They literally removed it. And when you guys got the notification, and then you guys then made mention afterwards that the car is indeed gone, the car has been stolen, that is when they were already long out, because they had the proper opportunity to remove the tracker, because these people knew that hiking takes time and it allows them opportunity to do whatever they are supposed to do. I'm actually getting goosebumps again. I remember I was questioning so many times. I was questioning so many things. Why did we go? And my husband is like, and you said we were supposed to rather do the hiking on a Sunday, but I insisted. And I said, we are not going to blame anyone for what has occurred here. No one knew. We did not know that this was supposed to happen. You said you wanted us to have a relaxing Sunday, and that was what we were going to do. We did not know that this horrific thing will happen to us. And actually, after we got home, that is when the locksmith company came. They opened for us, and then that's how we were able to get into the house. And I was still in denial because I'm one person, I always take the devices out. I checked for my other phone. My other phone was indeed not there. But it was a blessing in disguise that luckily my husband removed my MacBook. So my MacBook was home. And we were just sitting there. And I said to him, I don't know if you wrote everything as to what we've lost, but one thing I do know is in time we'll probably find out more. And indeed, in time we found out more as to what we've lost. And I remember one of the things that we've lost that I recalled afterwards, something as simple as the new car phone holder, because we installed it that morning when we went to the hiking to record, and it was gone. And what you guys don't understand right now is that as much as I'm saying it was gone, it was the smaller things. Like, where's my bracelet? Damn, my bracelet was in the car. Those things hit the hardest. It hit me so hard, and I'm like, what the hell? You work so hard for something, and then the next person can come in and just take it from you. My husband asked me and is like, you look strong. I said, I don't look strong, but I'm just one person that I don't panic. When it comes to such things and all of these fireballs that life throw at you, I don't panic. So this thing happened the same day of my uncle's funeral. So I couldn't call anyone. My husband had the opportunity to call his side of the family. I couldn't call my mom. I couldn't call my siblings because all of them was at the family funeral. For me, I kind of felt selfish at the time where most of my family was mourning. I'm now calling my mom and then shock her with such news. And I was just quiet, and I just kept on reminding my husband, you're not gonna blame yourself. Please don't over question yourself, because it's such things that can make us drift apart. Because if I say you should have, no one knows what would have happened. The following day, I made contact with my mom. I told my mom, and just to hear how she is shocked and how she was crying on the phone, it brought me to tears. But I felt in that moment that I needed to be the strongest. I needed to be the strongest. I don't know for who, but the blessing of it all was, and I keep on saying to my husband, babe, remember one thing. We need to be appreciative of the fact that this was not a hijacking. We were not in the car when this occurred. The car was stolen. I have heard very gruesome stories of people that was hijacked, and that trauma affects them so much deeper. I'm not saying what has happened to us is any less or doesn't hurt at all. We need to be appreciative in this moment of what God has done. Materialistic things may be gone, but our lives are saved. We were a little, I don't know if we have to say a little, but we were safe to some extent pertaining the trauma that could have happened if they really wanted this car and we were in the car. I took off from work. My husband also took off from work. So we are together. We just like, what the hell? I remember we ran out of bread and we like, can you believe we now have to do a checker 60? We now have to Uber to the mall to get essential items. Yo, and that hurt so much because the convenience that came with having a car, it was no longer there. I remember that Monday, the insurance called me. They asked me, should we organize a courtesy car for you? And I said, please. They delivered the courtesy car around 6 o'clock. We got into the car. I remember we had to go to the mall. There's something that we needed to go pick up. Oh no. I remember we went to the mall because I needed to go draw money. They needed cash for the deposit. I would throw the money and then I gave it to the company. We filled in some documents and then me and my husband, we drove home. And that relieved us to some extent because we were able to navigate and do the small things. But the void was still there that I didn't have a car. I remember like a week later, Gay Pride happened. I still went to Gay Pride and I said to my husband, I'm not going to do the entire weekend long festivities because I'm still driving a courtesy car. This is not my car. There's a lot of things that are happening in my mind and I am not fine. I remember I went to Gay Pride and I gave you guys that vlog, and I was trying my utmost best to be the happiest that I can possibly be, because I said, if one part of my life is falling down, I'm not going to give power of whatever happened to me for everything to collapse. I said I'm going to get up and I'm going to record and I'm going to show up, which is what I've done. So the Sunday after Gay Pride, my husband wanted us to go out. And I said, like I mentioned to you, I don't want to go out. I really don't think I can bring myself to be around people when this thing is happening to me. And my husband asked me, babe, do you mind editing my YouTube vlog for me? So the Sunday of Gay Pride weekend, he said he wants to go out with his friends. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. So they went out and they did whatever they did. So now I'm alone once again. And I am editing the car chit chat vlog. It's a Sunday, you guys know Sunday's a reset day, and it forces you to think. I'm sitting with my MacBook and I'm starting to edit. And now you guys must remember one thing. This vlog took me back to the scene. It's a case of I'm editing since we got into the car. We went there. We laughed. We were in great spirits. We were on the cliff, and then this ordeal occurred. I'm editing, and I kept on reminding myself, and I'm forcing myself. I'm like, no, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. People who's going to be watching this vlog, they don't know what's going on. People expect content. So as you are showing up for this part of your life, also show up here. You can go through this, but just do this. And when I did that, I cried. I cried so hard, but I finished editing that vlog. And to some extent, me editing that vlog gave me also healing, because it allowed me to revisit where I was and what has occurred to us. My husband came home that evening around 2 a.m. and he said to me, why are you still awake? I'm like, I just couldn't fall asleep. So what has happened to me, it broke me. What has happened to us, it made us stronger. And I don't look at the situation as something that can ultimately remove my light, because God has carried me all the way through until now. And some may ask, why are you telling us the story? I'm coming forward with what has occurred to us because, like the wedding, when I got engaged, there were people going around telling my story for me. And this week was also one of those hardest weeks where there were whispers around what has occurred or what has happened to me. And I said, I'm gonna come forward and tell my story, because I also don't want my story to have gaps. I want to be able to tell my story. I don't want anyone to have this narrative and run with it and remix it. This is my story to tell. A lot of bad things happen to good people. A lot of good things happen to good people. Life happens to all of us. And because of that, I am not going to be a victim. Am I in a better situation? No. Am I in a better place mentally? Yes. But you know why I'm in a better place? Because I now have vowed to elevate to the next level of my life. I spoke to my husband and I said, because we were discussing new car options, what do you think we're going to have? And I said to him, no, babe. We said the next car is going to be a small car. I said, no. The best thing that anyone would want to do, especially when you are faced with this and then there's whispers around your ordeal, you want to prove a point, you want to show I'm going to go bigger. I said to him, babe, I said my goal was after the Mazda, what I will do is I'm going to get my other dream car. But before I get the dream car, this is what I want to achieve first. I said, I'm not going to let anyone tell my story, or I'm not going to let anyone shape how my future is going to play out, because I'm steadfast and I'm going to stand firm. We said we're going to get a smaller car. We're still going to get that. There can be talks, there can be whispers, there can be laughs. I don't care. The most important thing was I achieved the goal. And I said, we are working towards this goal. Let's remain focused. Once we are with this goal, and I know for a fact that you guys will work with me and you guys will experience whatever God is going to put on our way. And I said, once we experience this thing, I will then come back and I will then buy my revenge car. My revenge car is not about showing off. My revenge car is the car that I said I was going to get as my goal for achieving something greater in my life. The reason why I now call it a revenge car is to say that, listen, devil, you thought you are in control of whatever you are in control of, but you are not in control of my life. That's why I now call it a revenge car. Initially, it would have been the car that I was going to get, which would have been my elevation car. But this revenge car is a car that even the devil will be shamed. I said, no, babe, we're going to get this car because we need an errands. And I said, why did we wanted a car? We said, my side hustle requires me to be on the go all the time. And because of that, we need an errands car. The Mazda CX5 would have been our family car. That car would have been the car that my husband drives because it's a 2-liter and he isn't as busy and always on the road as me. I said, no. The devil wants us to default and steer us away from our dream, because two black boys are probably never supposed to achieve this thing. I said, we will be focused. So I am just here telling my story for myself, because I don't want, when I post certain things, for there to be a gap. My case is with the insurance company. They are doing the investigation, so I'm waiting for feedback. So once I have the feedback, I will be able to move over to the next chapter, and then we're going to look into getting a vehicle. So for now, this is what has occurred in my life. So when we get a car, I want to be transparent with you guys as possible, because I don't want to, and I think this is the one thing that we would have wanted to do. I just wanted to post the new car and would have been like, hi guys, we bought a car, which would have been nice. But I always felt like there was a gap missing. And when we started to hear the whispers of people now rejoicing as to what has happened to us, and I said, no, I'm going to tell my story. And if they're going to laugh about it, let them laugh, because I am taking charge of this narrative and I am telling my story. If you made it until the last part of the video, thank you guys so much for being here. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. May God bless you. And if you guys have similar stories, please comment below and let me know how you guys have survived this. In South Africa, crime is one of the most disgusting things ever. You never know when it's going to happen to you. You can try your best. You can have all of the safety measures in place. But these cruel people, they have means how to get to you. So if you guys have any similar stories, you guys can comment below and just tell me how you have overcome this, or even someone close to you, how they've overcome this, because some days are harder than others, and I am just trying my utmost best to keep going. So thank you guys.